How's it going, guys? So, in today's video, I'm going to talk about why jobless claims are not the indicator that they used to be. People are very confused on this issue, and understandably so. And every single time I bring this up as sort of a head fake, it really uh, oftentimes gets people all fired up because they think we're kind of in this like expansionary economic phase that's just simply being driven by massive deficit spending. Okay, so the reality is people are simply not claiming UI or unemployment insurance benefits at the rate that they used to. So, in other words, what I'm saying is just because you're unemployed doesn't mean you have to claim those benefits. That's what's called the recipiency rate. And for the United States, it's pretty much the lowest it's been, or near the lowest it's been, right? Really, in this post GFC world, it's at 24%. Okay. Notice how it has just been in pretty much outright decline outside of COVID for that period. Well, we need to figure out why that would be. And if you look at something like the average weekly benefit, so like the UI benefit versus the average weekly wage of claimants, okay, they are materially diverging. So that's, if I were to just divide those two, that's what would result in what's called the replacement rate. And said another way, I mean, the benefit has meaningfully fallen behind. It hasn't really been updated for inflation, one could argue. It varies by states, but in general, this is a pattern that you see in most states. And right, I mean, there's a trade off now where you do have access to obviously gig work, but like thinking about that through the lens of like an opportunity cost, I don't know many right millionaire Uber drivers. Okay, I mean, you could go down to, I mean, think of this again like as an opportunity cost. You could go down to maybe like the 7-Eleven and Bucky's and find a job, but is that really the job that you're looking for that's going to pay you what you need it to? And the answer is no, not really. But right, I mean, the weekly benefit is not meant to completely replace somebody's lost wages. Right, they kind of established that at around 40% a long time ago, and it's just sort of been in secular decline for a very long time. So, right, there's just the incentive to file just really isn't there anymore. And by the way, this is the exhaustion rate, and this is basically measuring right the average duration of unemployment. So, like, if people use up all their benefits before finding a new job, that is in essence measuring the duration of unemployment. So, right, people do not like to hear me say that. It's just not what you think it is, and that's because I went and looked. So all the people who think what I'm saying is a bold statement, you just don't know what you're talking about. So there are a lot of people out there who have very strong opinions about shit they have no idea about. They do not understand things, and yet they get mad at me for simply informing them. That's how fucking stupid everything is these days. So look, I'm gonna go around just a couple of other states and show you what this looks like. Easily the biggest outlier, just from a population standpoint, is going to be Florida. I believe they rank last in terms of the recipiency rate, right, of all states. It's at 7.2%. Only 7.2% of unemployed individuals claim benefits. Look how materially diverging the weekly benefit is compared to the weekly wage. It hasn't been updated, right? This is really stupid, which is why the replacement rate is way down. And now you're starting to see even like the people who do file, right? They're exhausting their benefits. So here's Tennessee, also near the bottom in terms of the recipiency rate. And again, this is just these are the numbers. I wish they put this stuff in Fred. They don't. It took me an inordinate amount of time to pull all of this information for the various states, right? Because you can only pull, I want to say, 10 states in 5 year increments at a time. Maybe there's like some sort of API that's available out there. I just haven't looked at it. But that's what it is, guys. And I know people don't like to hear that. But it generally speaking, if something does not add up, okay, And some, like, there's all of these conflicting data points. Generally speaking, it can be like reasonably explained as to why that's occurring, and this is what's happened here. Okay, I don't make the rules, so if you're listening to somebody who's gonna try and suggest otherwise, just understand that person is likely a moron.